on the Kaduna International Airport, just what to make of the House of Representatives' report that the airport did not meet international and local safety standards. Joining us is Abubakar Amuda-Kannike, who is the deputy chairman, the House Committee on Works. It's a pleasure to have you join us this morning. And straight to the point here. What do you make? I'm sure you must have watched with keen interest the different sides of the debate at plenary last week on what to make of the Kaduna International Airport. You think the lawmakers who criticizing the state of the airport have been hasty in their judgment, or they do have a cause for concern?
Yeah, good morning, viewers. On the issue of the Kaduna Abuja Airport, I think you cannot be too careful when it comes to aviation security. And I think the concern as raised by my colleagues on the floor of the House is in order. And globally, you know that aviation security is something that is work in progress almost perpetually, is something that you review from time to time and see how you can make it better. A particular example is the recent policy of the United States government on particular countries on why you cannot carry, things that are bigger than your palm-held device. They've initiated a ban on carrying into the cabin the iPad and laptops. So, in as much as I know, and I will say that I've tested the new arrangement in Kaduna, and it's partially satisfactory. But, the concerns raised on the floor of the House and germane, and it's always work in progress, and you're always trying to make the best of, it's about life and property, and it's evolving, and we must continue. So I think it's something that the Committee on Aviation, as directed by the leave of the House, should review and see how they can make it better.
Now we're into the third week of repair of the Abuja Airport. How do you think that we've survived for so long using the Kaduna Airport, even with the issues that we're dealing with right now? Only one airline, international airline, is flying into the Kaduna Airport, and we can barely handle the pressure.
Kaduna Airport has always operated as an international airport, but it suffices to mention that its international operations are just during the Hajj operations. And it doesn't have the constant pressure that I would say Abuja and Lagos International Airport has. So it's not been tested over time perpetually. So I can understand when you now have a situation where like Ethiopia Airlines flies in almost on a daily basis, there will be things that were not on ground, and there will be concerns about security and safety that we need to react to. And I think it's also an opportunity for us as a nation to be preemptive in our management skills. The problem in this country is that we are always reactive when it comes to issues of safety and security. I would say one of the most neglected issues in the country is when it comes to safety. If you go around nationally, fire safety, the fire brigade are the least paramilitary agency that attention is paid to, and safety at our airports is something that is desirous of improvement. So because they've not been perpetually challenged by the traffic of international flights, I'm not surprised that these concerns are emerging, but I think it's also an opportunity to correct this anomaly and make sure things are in proper order. But we must not forget that I would not fail to compliment the logistic convenience that in that short while all the relevant MDAs are put in place to make sure that Nigerians have the ease of what I would say an aberration in the normal inflow into the Abuja airport. I'll say the logistic arrangements are worth commending. The train system has increased from 2 times, one time a day to twice a day now, or about 3 times a day, and now they have even included Sundays. And if you have your evidence of ticket purchase and your boarding pass, for instance, secured coaches are provided for you. Same for land transport. Most of this part has been, that was what people dreaded the most, but I can say passengers have been getting a fair deal. They are not incurring any extra cost at moving between Abuja and Kaduna. The only thing is that, they probably are adding more time to their travel time, which even when we were in Abuja, sometimes we are used to flights being delayed anyway. So these are some of the situations. But I want to compliment what they've done so far. But that does not preclude or subjudize the fact that we're reviewing the security concerns, and this is something that you can always improve upon. So the motion as raised by my colleague on the floor of the House and the directive as given by the Speaker is very much in order, and is just part of what we should do as legislators to make sure that we continue to oversight the executive and make sure that Nigerians are better for it.
All right, let's put you on hold. Mr. Abubakar Amuda-Kannike, who is the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Works. This conversation has just barely started, and so we'll be back after this quick break to talk some more with you.
It's Today on STV. Makes a Naija mom powerful.
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's One Capful. To fight germs, it's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's One Capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes to keep them clean and safe from germs.
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Millions of powerful Naija moms use the power of Dettol's One Capful to protect their families. Be a powerful Naija mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure. It's Today on STV.
All right, welcome back to STV. Let's continue our conversation now on the House of Reps report on the state of the Kaduna airport and, of course, issues bordering on safety and security. We still have with us Abubakar Amuda-Kannike, who is the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Works. Let me ask you about, you talked about oversight functions just because before we went on that break, but on this issue, the Abuja airport has been shut down for the reason that we didn't follow the maintenance routine on the runways. If we talk about oversight function, how much are we doing, whether the House of Reps and indeed all the statutory agencies and bodies that are saddled with this responsibility? What's your score on how we have been doing with oversight functions in this regard?
Thank you very much. I'm not in the capacity I have to talk is as regards the life, the tenure of this current 8th Assembly. I will say that at the beginning of the 8th Assembly, we set out a mandate, and we had what I would say our legislative priorities. We decided to make sure that we were going to take oversight to another new level, and I would say almost 2 years down the line, this 8th Assembly has done proper oversighting of the ministry, departments and agencies. It's a priority, and a lot of us, like Nigerians, do not know, and I must use this opportunity to mention to Nigerians that anytime you look at the floor of the House that's been shown now, you will hardly see the 360 people. Nigerians might not understand that quite a chunk of legislators are moving around the country oversighting what the ministry, departments and agencies are doing. Sometimes they think all our work ends just on the floor of the House, but a lot of people are in different parts of the country, in different ministries, departments and agencies, making sure that the right things are done, making sure that appropriated funds that have been given to these ministry, departments and agencies in our budget process are effectively being implemented, and we are supervising these contractors. I would mention particularly my own committee, which is the Committee on Works. We've had the responsibility of going around the major geopolitical zones of this country, the 6 geopolitical zones. The only outstanding geopolitical zone we've not been able to go to is the Northeast, and of course maybe part of the North Central. We've gone to the Northwest. We've gone to the South, Southeast. We have gone to the Southwest part of this country, and in all these trips, we properly oversighted most of the ongoing projects by the Ministry of Works. we did not just go to see what the contractors were doing. We did what I will call technical oversighting, because we went to the field with our own instruments and our consultants to make sure that we are testing the integrity of concrete. We are trying to ascertain that constructions are to specifications, and where we have concerns, we raise the concerns immediately, and we raise our queries to the ministry. And I must say that other committees are doing same. We have the committee on basic education. All the committees are up to speed in trying to oversight the ministry departments and agencies. So, and if we don't do this, I don't think we're actually fulfilling the essence of being the people's representatives. So I would say that the 8th Assembly has taken oversight to a new level, and I'm very proud to be part of this 8th Assembly and what we've done with oversight.
Well, let me kindly draw your attention to a report on one of the national dailies saying that while the Kaduna Abuja Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport will be opened, I guess in 3 weeks' time, for going by the 6-week mandate given to the engineers, that renovation will still continue on the runways for another 18, for an extended number of weeks. Tell me, are you concerned when people say, for example, that the 6 weeks given for the rehabilitation of the airport runway may not be achieved at the long run? Are you, from what you've seen, are you satisfied with the level of work going on?
I would say that the contractor is on site, and from my own observation, I think they're trying to keep to the 6 weeks. But you would also have to note that usually when you have a seriously trafficked airport like this, maintenance is something that you have to go. Where are we in this situation in the first instance? It's because we've not put the essential maintenance protocol in place. Maintenance is something you do, as long as, because after constructing any structure, either road or an infrastructure like a building, it starts depreciating from the first day of use. So you must have effective maintenance protocol in place to make sure that you don't find yourself in a situation where you suddenly cannot use that infrastructure. So that is what has been lacking in our culture as a nation. So if they say that they will continue maintaining for additional number of weeks, why they create an avenue for the normal activity of the airport to still go on, I don't have a problem with that. I'll cite an example. One of the busiest airports in the world is the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta. It's something that they do in the US, that maintenance, you see the maintenance team on ground 24/7. They always address issues of maintenance, because with use there's always a concern. There's something that they can always fix or put better. So I don't have a problem. They have a way of compartmentalizing activities where issues of maintenance does not interfere with the issues of aviation traffic. So I'm not concerned. I think it's a step in the right direction, and we must continue to look at issues of maintenance vis-a-vis our infrastructure utility.
Mr. Amuda-Kannike, let's give you time to relax for a bit and pay some attention to our guest here in Lagos. And at this point, let me introduce Tayo Ojuri, who is an aviation expert. Welcome to Today on STV.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, we know the stories have been making the rounds with the inspection of the Kaduna Airport by the House of Rep members, a certain committee on the House of Rep. Now, they've put out things that they're uncomfortable with, what is going on at the airport. But isn't it disturbing that they were given time to get that airport ready? And yes, we have to deal with issues of refueling the aircraft. We have to deal with issues of safety. The checks are not done properly. We have to do issues where navigating as to where people will walk in the airport is a problem. Fencing is also a problem. There's a danger of animals coming in. These are weighty issues. Why is it that we spend weeks trying to get the airport ready and we're still dealing with issues such as these?
Unfortunately, we're not reinventing the wheel, but like everything, like the previous speaker had spoken, we don't have set processes for this. There's what we call in aviation and airport upgrades or facilitation. We call it operational readiness, activation, and transition, with an ORAT or for an airport, that process is supposed to be followed with the process, and what the process actually be engaging the stakeholders, and that you're supposed to simulate every process which you've just mentioned, from the passenger throughput to the fueling uplift to the landing takeoff security. You are supposed to simulate this over a time frame. So you actually look at this, what the loopholes and the flaws in the system is. Unfortunately, we did not do this prior to the opening of Kaduna Airport. What we did was, it's not certified.
Okay,
none of our airports are certified.
We gave the impression that it was ready.
It was just someone signing off because there was a set time for them to start using the airport. The night before the airport went live, they did not, they were still fixing stuff around the airport. And you can see this whereby you find out there's another flaw in the system whereby you're not engaging the major stakeholders, which are your airport cannot work without the airlines. The airlines were not engaged. And you now see it, it's so obvious that none of the foreign airlines, except Ethiopian Airlines, is actually using the airport.
Mr. Ojiri, let's come to these same issues that were raised before even this started, because there were issues around the safety of the airport and then the security as well. But it does appear that even in the report of the House of Reps members, you see the same issues playing out, such as the time to check. Because of the crowd, it has to be faster, it has to be less time for even the personal checks. That talks about security. The safety aspect that, God forbid, they say this is disaster waiting to happen from what they saw. Did you think that at the time we saw the airlines, engage with the authorities on this before this started, these issues were addressed, but then there were assurances that this was going to be taken care of? Does it surprise you that weeks after, the same issues are being reported by the members of the House of Reps as concerns?
It doesn't surprise me when it's just addressed on paper, addressed on TV, and not addressed where the rubber meets the road. When you're addressing the system, is actually simulating the systems and having that process. It's not, I can address and say, I'll be here. I'm not sure. I can address their thoughts. It's different from having a thought and putting that thought to action. That's what makes the difference in the airport system. That wasn't put to test, and that's why we're seeing all these loopholes manifest the way that it is. It's no surprise, because when we don't do our homework right, this is what happens. And we always say, God forbid. It's not a matter of God forbid. It's for us to do, as aviation practitioners, what we need to do at the right time. It's just in the news recently that